between the Arabs of Tripolitania and the Italians. So because of that battle, they were given the name Lions of the Desert, and in commemoration, a movie was made back in like 1980, man, 1982, 1982, something like that. But so it says, as if a man did flee from a lion, that's symbolic. It's representative of the conflict that Esau's in right now in the Arab world. As though a man did flee from a lion, and then what happened?
And they bear met him.
And that's going to draw the Russians in. The Russians and the Persians, because if you can remember, the Persians in the ancient day was a bear also. Today, the Persians are Iran. And when you look at the alliance that Russia has right now, I'm going to show you this. This is a depiction of an organization that's called the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is a treaty that was signed between Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and China. And then you got other countries like you see the orange spots. Those are Shanghai Cooperation Organization candidates. These people are being considered and are pondering membership themselves. India, Pakistan, and Iran. Those are all the countries right now where the shit is going on, except for Mongolia. So when the Lord says, "No man did flee from a lion and a bear," it's literally saying what? That, thank you, brother. It's literally saying that the conflict with the Arab world is going to drive the Edomite, Anglo-American Empire into pulling the Russians in. So once the Russians get involved, read it again, as a man did flee from a lion.
As a man did flee from a lion, and they bear met him, or went into the house.
In other words, once the Russians get involved, the going into the house, talking about them reconvening, war planning, Pentagon activity. Go ahead.
And laid his hand on the wall. And the serpent bit him.
And the serpent is talking about China. Now how do we know the serpent is talking about China? Because China is already a member. I'm about to turn it over again. China is already a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The treaty was signed in Shanghai, China. You know what I'm saying? So when it says for the sword of the one, go ahead, read that verse again in the pocket.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. And of those, verse 24, and of those that dwell therein with much oppression.
Wait for that, verse 24. You're supposed to be way up at, come on, you got to stay coherent, brother. Okay? We went past that already. Where you at? For the two that remain. You read what he said? Yeah. Hold on. Verse 26, read verse 26.
And whereas thou sawest that the great head appeared no more, it signified that one of them shall die upon his bed,
right,
and yet with pain,
right.
For the two that remain shall be slain with the sword.
Now it says the two. That means Britain have already been dissolved. Okay, so the only two left to fight is what?
Russia and America.
Exactly. Have to ask the people to hear this question. Compare it over to me. No, you keep it. I can talk about it. Listen, how the world was the cold world of the fear of nuclear war between Britain and Russia?
No.
Was the Cold War the fear of a nuclear war between Britain and America? No. The Cold War was what? It was a period of tension, the period of history of great tension and constant espionage. You know what I mean? Constant, a great armament for nuclear proliferation, nuclear arms proliferation. Everybody was stockpiling nuclear military. It was arms testing and creating, like I said, tens of thousands of nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's what the Cold War was about. And that the fear was that the ultimate cataclysm would be what? A nuclear holocaust. And the rationale and the false security that they had was that really both of them having this many nuclear warheads was actually a perfect deterrent because the only thing that could come out of it was a mutually assured destruction. No, the best that they could do was destroy each other. And that fact would deter them. But the scriptures tell you that's not going to happen. These countries are going to fight. There's going to be a nuclear shock. So it says the sword of the one shall do what? What verse you at?
As we mentioned, the proxy wars, these two have been really.
Yeah, they've been in proxy wars. When you talk about the Iran-Iraq war from 1980 to 1988, you had Iran being financed by the United States and the Iranians being financed by the Russians. When you talk about the Vietnam War, what was besides little needles with fucking poison and shit like that on them, all this shit from the jungle that they was using, what type of weapons did they have? Anytime you see somebody with a damn AK-47, you can say, these guns were brought to you by, you know what I'm saying, the sponsors, and now I'm working on sponsors. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. That's what it was.
Yeah, Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Verse 28. For the sword of the one.
For the sword of the what?
Of the one shall devour the other.
Now we know through the scriptures, through Ezekiel chapter 38, we know that Russia, Gog and Magog, is going to strike. Gog, Magog, and the SCO is going to strike. Go ahead.
But at the last, for the sword of the one shall devour the other.
Go ahead.
But at the last shall he fall through the sword himself.
Now let's do this. The sword of the one shall devour the sword of the other. But at the last what?
But at the last shall he fall through the sword himself.
We're going to do these later. The sword of the one is talking about Russia and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization having an all-out cataclysmic nuclear holocaust war with America and NATO. It's going to be East versus West. That's what it's talking about. Then in the height of the battle, Christ is going to come, and the Most High said, the NATO, all of them, along with Russia, are going to turn on America. That's why it says in Revelation chapter 17 that these 10 horns shall hate the poor, and shall burn her with fire, and shall make her naked. In other words, you're going to have China, you're going to have India, you're going to have Pakistan, you're going to have Russia, then you're going to have all the European countries that got nukes, then you're going to have all the countries that got intercontinental ballistic conventional weapons. Everybody's going to fire on America. That's what the scriptures say. Jeremiah chapter 50 said that all that bend the bow shoot. That means everybody that keeps in Mexico shoot. This is going to be off the hook, man. But we know that the last two, the Armageddon is really going to include is who? It's Russia and America. So that's how, you can almost break this one from the last verses going up to the beginning. Because if you go shoot right to the end and it tells you two heads are going to have a final showdown, then you know it's not Russia and Britain. You know it's not Britain and America. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be who? It's going to be Russia and America. So that more powerful head that was eliminated, it had to have been what? The Brits. And it was. Because their vast empire, they still exist. And they're behind the scenes concerning banking and financing and planning with the Illuminati. But aside from that, their empire was dissolved as of 1997. And they actually became a part of what? The European Union. They're not in the Eurozone, but are they not a European Union member? Yeah. Proof. That's the proof of it. That the three heads is Russia, America, and Britain have already been eliminated as what? A superpower. These last two are talking about the world. So that's why they keep trying to fuck people's minds saying sole superpower. America's not the only superpower. Russia still got their nukes. You know what I'm saying? And they got way more of them, and they're far more technologically advanced, and their missile defense systems are superior to those of America. You can't just bomb Russia. Okay, read on down.
Verse 29. And whereas thou sawest two feathers
how many minutes? Okay, cool. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest two feathers under the wings passing over the head, that is on the right side.
Now hold on, I'll go back and read that. That's referring to 2 Esdras chapter 11 and verse 22. it says, after this I looked, and behold,